You've seen the projection for how great these holiday sales are. And in this video, we're going to go over that because when you peek behind the curtain, it is not looking so fabulously after all. It is fabulously if you are an owner of buy now, pay later and some of these retail companies, because Americans are projected to spend $20 billion on buy now, pay later services during the holidays. And if you've never heard of buy now, pay later services, you want to buy something for $400 and the first payment is due right now. And then those other payments, they're going to split up into 4 or 5 different payments depending on your plan you pick. And so basically what you're doing is you're going to have your future you pay for the purchase you're doing today. And a huge chunk of those people that are going to buy now, pay later will never pay. This is a huge red flag when 20 billion are going to be spent with buy now, pay later. And we're going to talk about all of this in this video. So I asked you guys in a poll, how are you going to pay for all of this Christmas shopping? 32% said cash debit. 9% said credit cards keep the balance. 3% said buy now, pay later. And 57% of you guys said, I'm not shopping, I'm going to skip it altogether. More than half of you guys said, we're done, I'm not going to the malls, I'm not going to get lured into these Black Friday sales, these Christmas sales that they got going on. I'm not going to do it. And so if you watch my content on the regular and you really want to keep up with what's going on in the economy, what's going to affect you in your personal life, please give me a like and a follow. That would really help out my channel. So we're looking at the analysis. Adobe Analytics expected over 20 billions in buy now, pay later spending in November and December of 2025. That is up 10% from last year. And last year, buy now, pay later already hit $18.2 billion during the holiday season. So I had to read these numbers off so they're accurate. But yeah, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at buy now, pay later services account for roughly 8% of all total holiday spending. These are very scary numbers because what you can do is you can stack them. And I did that with my Starbucks loan that I've taken out a long time ago. What do? Is you pay your buy now, pay later loan with a credit card. And so today is not due $100. It is going to be due in 30 days. And so you're going to keep pushing it and pushing it. And that's where the danger really, really comes in. Klarna reported a 45% jump in volume in November compared to last year. So people that have been trying it, people that are like, you know what, I can't afford it, are now more eager than ever to jump in and make sure that they can get their Christmas gift, their PlayStations on a buy now, pay later service. And I showed you guys, you can now even finance through the Klarna app for 36 months. You can finance the PlayStation. So you can basically go into a store and say, you know what, I'm going to finance this PlayStation for 36 months where I'm going to spend a few $100s extra just to finance it. But hey, the payment's only $20. And some surveys said around half of holiday shoppers plan to spend buy now, pay later. So these are very, very dangerous number. Once you start messing with buy now, pay later, and you're going to rely on it, it is just a disaster. And it's not just one loan. It's like you get comfortable with it. You do another one. You do another one. All of a sudden, your whole budget is eaten up with buy now, pay later. And a study found that in 2025, nearly 24% of buy now, pay later users missed a payment. So every other person kind of missed their payment. And so this is why I call it buy now, pay never. But this is crazy because they're going to come after you. They're not just going to let that sink and be like, you know what, we're not going to worry about it. No, they'll ask you for your credit score, for your social, and they will come after you with everything they got. And then once they got your social, they're just going to attach it to credit bureaus and they're going to come after you. And it is very dangerous if 1 in 4 already are behind and up to 40% are struggling to pay back these loans. It's dangerous when you start dabbling in it. So let's see how much spending is up and how much how much spending is up this year versus last year.
Breaking: Gen Z is not spending on Black Friday and Cyber Monday like retailers want them to. In fact, this year, Gen Z is spending way less for the holidays than they did last year, which is causing retailers to panic. Last year, Gen Z spent over $1,300 on average for the holidays, and this year, they're not even breaking the $1,000 mark on average. But right now, things are so bad that millennials are spending a lot less than they did last year for the holidays, and even boomers are spending less. In fact, Gen X is the only generation that is projected to spend slightly more this year than last year for the holidays. Everybody else is cutting back. We all know why so many people are cutting back. It's an indicator of you know what, the word that nobody wants us to say, but that everyone is acting like is already here. Recession. But these trends are exactly why I warned everyone not to pay attention to all those stories about how great Black Friday was for retailers. People are pulling back, and it's here in the numbers. And for everybody trying to pretend like consumers are having such a great time,
So you're seeing it's that people are spending less. Buy now, pay later acts as an economic lifeline. So you're seeing it that if the music's about to stop, you just give people, hey, let's just spread out the loan, let's keep this all rolling. And 45% volume jump from one year to the next. That means that people like it, people use it. And this is just so dangerous, and especially when you have credit card debt at records highs already. Credit card balances hit $1.2 trillion, up to $6,500 per average balance. Wages are only up 4 to 5%, but this is what we're dealing with. And this is so dangerous. And when I'm looking at all this data, I'm looking at what Americans are doing, and I see that it's just spending upon spending. And people are in the comment section telling me, I go to the mall and I see all these people just buying. And I look at the data. So some of the data shows that a lot of them are buy now, pay later. And then 1/3 of all gifts purchased are gonna go back to the store. So you're seeing that 30% of that you can already deduct because it's gonna go back in January. And you can see that Amazon, Walmart, they all changed their terms of service so you can return those gifts later on. And let's take that away. So then there's 30% less. And then we're looking at these buy now, pay later people, and that's about 10%. So we're already at 40% of people that either return their gifts or not going to pay. And so you're seeing it that half of almost all these purchases that they've gone through are either going to get returned or stop paying. And so then these numbers aren't looking so good after all. And this is why I always tell you to know your finances. This is the best way for you to get ahead in life, to do the right thing when you know what your finances look like. What is your budget? How much can I actually spend on Christmas? How much can I spend on eating out? How much can I spend on all kinds of different categories in lifestyle, in cars, in everything? But when I say that, people always yap about, oh, not now. I'll do that in the new year. I'm going to get this new job that's going to pay me 20% more. And then with that 20% more, I'm going to pay back my debts and I'm going to do way better. And so then the new year turns around. They are going to get that job. And instead of then paying back those debts, they're going to say, you know what? I'm just going to increase my lifestyle because I just got this promotion. So I'm going to buy the BMW. I'm going to buy a nicer car. And it's well deserved. I got this promotion, and then you're back in the trap. And this is why it is so dangerous. Once you're starting and you're starting to feel okay with it, it will just come and get you in the long run. So the earlier you get out of debt, you start investing, you start making good decisions, the better it is going to be for your life. And people in my comment section are always saying, that's not how you become wealthy. Saving up, doing an emergency fund, that's not how you become wealthy. You're absolutely right, it's not. But it's the first step because you got to learn better money habits. Because once you're going to be good with money, you'll see that, paying 36% interest, there's no stock that goes up like that. And so I can then just say, you know what? Let me just put it towards debt, pay that off, and become better at it. And then all of a sudden, you see your money grow like the top 10% of Americans that own stocks, that do all that are not in a recession, that don't really care about it. they're investing in stocks or investing in all these other assets. And so it's important for you to get on that side where money makes money. I know it's a funny concept, but yeah, money makes money. And that's why some of you guys yesterday in my live asked me, what do I do? And the number one thing that I would recommend you do is look at your situation. What do you want to do? What's important to you in your life? Do you want to live debt free? Do you want to sleep good at night? Do you want to do all that? Or do you not care? There's a lot of people that just say, I don't really give a shit. And that's a valid point. If you're not going to care and just like, yeah, I'll just keep rolling one debt into the next one and just kind of keep it rolling like the federal government, then, that's what you choose to do. And so be it. But if you want to buy a house, you want to pay that off, and you want to be well set for retirement, you got to think about the future a little bit and make sure that you do good choices, good financial choices, good financial habits. And then once you're going to really do good financial habits and you're going to go down the road of paying stuff off, and then you're going to be financially free. It's a it's an easier concept said than done, because people tell me, oh my gosh, it's so obvious, but it is just obvious isn't enough. It has to be practiced. That's why I come on here and I talk about it, because just stating the obvious doesn't mean that people do it. When you're looking at DUIs and you see all that, it's obvious you shouldn't drink and drive, but that doesn't mean that people actually do it. Getting into 36% credit card debt is obvious that that's a horrible thing. But once you're in it, it's different. And everybody says that, oh well, once I'm in it, emotions and feelings and everything, you have to take that into consideration. And it is human behavior. It's not just ones and zeros. If it was just ones and zeros, it'd be a really easy problem to solve. But it's emotions and it's feelings, and it all kind of mixed in together. And that's why I give leniency to people, because they haven't been educated. They haven't realized how deep in the mess they're in until they actually go in and start looking and seeing like, ooh, how long is it actually going to take me to figure out where I'm at and where do I want to go? Because just grinding it out, that's what some people in my comment section say. Just grind it out. Just keep working. Just keep working. Get another job. If you're grinding without a plan, it's just useless. You have to come up with a plan. You have to figure out, how can I transition my job into a career? And the good thing is that if you want to go from a job to a career, the next career jump, the job description's already out there. So you just have to learn these skills or be in projects with these skills, and then you can really, really jumpstart it. And just grinding it out with no end in sight is not that great. And this is why I tell people, please, please, if you have kids, if you're an adult, I know I have older audiences, please tell your child or other people you're around with that they have to do it in their 20s. I'm going to have another creator on here that's going to talk about exactly this, because it's so much easier when you're in your 20s and 30s than in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. And some of you guys can probably agree with that. So let's watch this creator talk about it.
I keep telling y'all, you have to do the hard stuff early so that you can make it easier later on. Some of y'all are out here, you in the clubs, you're drinking, you're having a lot of fun. That's fine. It is what it is. But if you don't at some point settle down and get on your grind, especially when you're young, it is going to be tough sledding as you get older. If you're not intentional when you're young about dating, trust me when I tell you, as you get older, it just gets harder. So very simply, you can do the hard things now and sacrifice a little bit now to make your life a little bit easier when you get older, or you can chill out, have fun, do all of that stuff. But I promise you, when you get older, it's going to be a much tougher life. As always, love you guys. Stay positive.
So this is what I love to see. I love people talking about that, talking about like, hey, do it when you're young. It is so much easier. People have said, man, I wish I would have heard that in my 20s. Now I'm 38 and I'm just starting. And this is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you being 38 and then it's like, oh my gosh, now I got to start doing stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm 38 now, and so let me start looking at my finances and see all these years I had fun, but fun didn't pay the bills. Fun didn't compound interest over these 15 plus years, and that's what is so important. And that's why I always, always, always stress, make sure you have compound interest working in your favor, not against you. It's the number one way to wealth. And this is so, so important. I cannot stress it enough. And so if you're older, and I have a lot of people older, you should have these conversations with your kids, with your grandkids. If you're in your 60s, 70s, and your kids are in their 20s plus, or in their 16 or 18 years old, you should have these conversations and start talking to them about it. What's your strategy? And this is what I've learned. And say, these were my downfalls. This wasn't so good what I've done. But it requires humbleness, because we all mess up. And people are then like, oh my gosh, you messed up. And they don't want to share the struggle, what has been going on. And so this is why I come on here and I say, I struggled. I've made mistakes. I've invested in yogurt stores that went belly up and all this other stuff. But you have to learn from it. These are life lessons, and some of them are wins, some of them are losses. But yeah, this is it from Las Vegas. A little shorter one. Yeah, this was it from my walk today. A little later posting it because I'm right there by the Chevrolet dealership and Ellie's cars with the electrical problems. I'm telling you, you do not need to believe that these new cars are more reliable than what you got. Those words, get the new reliability, is out the window. They can't build cars, especially General Motors. They do not know how to build cars. It is an absolute disgrace. Yeah, still dealing with electronic stuff. It is just bananas. And they're nice people at that dealership. Man, this is another tier that I have. These car manufacturers and these car dealers, they have the perfect business model. They're like crack cocaine dealers. And what do? They say, oh, we manufactured, and then they just blame the dealerships, and the dealerships go blame the manufacturers. And so you as the customer are in between, and it's like, oh, the car wasn't built by us, so we can't really, do too much. And then it's like, oh, we have to talk to the manufacturer, but the manufacturer thinks it's our problem. And you're in the middle being like, I'm getting hosed out. I'm getting hosed like crazy. And so, yeah, if you got a good car, don't sell it for, yeah, just keep it. This is my advice. It is just absolutely crazy. So then you're out here, been dealing with that stuff, and this is what people say, I don't want car problems, I don't want that. It is just time consuming, and it's a soul sucking environment. It just is. It doesn't even cost me any money to have it there, but the amount of non communication, the amount of them not knowing what's going on. Oh, we'll call you today. No call. Oh, we'll call you tomorrow. Oh, I got 70 cars in the bay today and I got stressed and we don't have enough service people. We don't have enough mechanics. And then it's like, then it feels like it's my problem. Why is that my problem? I don't care if you have 1,000 cars coming through your lane. That's not my problem. I bought from you guys. You guys need to fix it. But yeah, these are the games that these dealerships and are playing. It is just crazy. So I do believe that my next car is going to be a Subaru. All these people have been talking about, like, I have no problems with Subarus and everything else. So it seems to me like that's the way to go. And yeah, I don't hear too many people that have all these issues. So yeah, that's it from Vegas. It's a nice day out though, so I can't be too pissed. But yeah, it's a nice day, and this one's still rolling. So wait till this one gonna go, then I'm gonna lose it. But yeah, that's how it goes. So I'll see you guys in the next one. If you haven't, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.